Welcome to Live in Love, Find Your True Reward, as I have felt led to do a new video series live for a while now. Popped up in my personal Facebook memories yesterday that 7 years ago, yesterday was my first live video that I ever did. So I thought it was fitting to do another one today. But the question that we need to tackle today: what radicalized you? It's a question circling around Threads and perhaps various other social media spaces as well. And the answer to that question is partly, there is no hate like Christian love. I hate that phrase, but let me explain why I hate that phrase. You see, that phrase has only radicalized me because I've spent the past 17 years majoring on the topic of Christian love. We'll get to the name of my, the former name of my blog and various other things in a bit. To be honest, early on in my journey, I'm sure I was partly responsible for that mantra about Christian love. And if I did come across that way to you or did mistreat you in the name of Christian love, I pray that you'll forgive me. I am deeply sorry. However, technically 17 years ago, I didn't care about Christian love. But I did care about becoming the next big name in the rap game. As a sophomore in high school, I penned my first rap lyrics. And I did that under the moniker of Little Fighter, spelled F-I-G-H-T-E-R, with little also spelled out. That moniker had too many letters in it. I didn't like it. It was too long. So I quickly transitioned to Lil, like L-I-L, Fighter, spelled out like the normal word. However, then I got creative and curious, so I was like, how many letters minimum can I do for this word? And realized quickly that I could do Lil, L-I-L, and then Fighter, F-Y-T-R. The T kind of looks like a cross because I'm a Christian rapper, all that kind of stuff. But I was in a weird place in my Christian walk at this point in my life. If you were to find the very first album I released in 2010, which I don't think you can, you'd notice that I'm simultaneously struggling deeply with faith, but also proselytizing for the faith at the same time. Maybe that tension has never fully disappeared in my life. You'd have to listen to my music, you'd have to read my books, you'd have to do all that kind of stuff and see, read my blogs. Where is he at? You might see that tension still there. In 2010, after I released that album that I mentioned, I quickly set to work on a second album. However, prior to starting that work, I found or rededicated my life to or finally got serious about Jesus. Shortly thereafter, I was doing my daily Bible reading because that's what good Christians do. And I was in 1 John and I noticed a really interesting concept. It read, God is love. The one who lives in love lives in God, and God lives in him. By this, love is perfected with us, so that we may have confidence in the day of judgment. For we are as he is in this world. That's 1 John 4, 16 through 17. I summarize that verse as, live in love, find your true reward. Because it also gave my rap moniker an extra layer of meaning. So I guess what really radicalized me was studying the Bible and seeking to live it out. You see, since that day, my studies have repeatedly encouraged me that I am onto something. The last paper I wrote in Bible college argued that the basic original Christian message was love one another. And I was shocked to discover as I wrote that it was love one another not in your generic Christian nicety way to say, I love you, bro. It was love one another in a social justice kind of way. Not the modern social justice of allowing everything as normative and affirming everybody and everything they're doing sort of way, but in giving money to the poor, helping the homeless guy on the street with money. That was Christianity. Look at James 1:27. Pure and undefiled religion before our God and Father is this: helping orphans and widows in their distress and keeping oneself unstained from the world. So on the one hand, we can't fall too far down the liberal nonsense rabbit hole. I will come back to that in a minute. But on the other hand, we can't say that the homeless guy is only homeless because of his own decisions, and if we give him money, he's just going to use it on alcohol. That's not an attitude that should be in the Christian's heart. As I later pursued a seminary degree, I learned that the early church agreed that love is central. In fact, Augustine, in his book on the Trinity, I believe it's book 15 of that book, he talks extensively about how love is the essence of God. Love is what defines God. He uses 1 John 4:8 and 1 John 4:16 to make this point. Even the medieval church agreed. Anselm followed Augustine. And even Martin Luther agreed. As Christian rapper Flame pointed out, God doesn't need our good works, but our neighbor does. And those lyrics hit me and broke me because, I'm not doing good deeds so that I can get into heaven. I'm doing good deeds because my neighbor needs love, needs money, needs support. Not only that, how are they going to know about the love of God if we're not helping with tangible needs? We're the hands and feet of Christ, 1 John 4:17. By this, love is perfected with us, for we are as he is in this world. If God is love and we are as he is in this world, then we love like God and show him to the world. But fast forward to 2025, skip over a lot of church hurt and other stuff that's gone down in my life trying to live this out. And now, if I say that LGBTQ people deserve love, I get called a progressive, and my family members start questioning my faith. Look, the last time I checked, humans were humans no matter who they were attracted to. And humans were made in God's image. God calls them, quote, very good in Genesis 1. For this reason, we are called to love them. We are not called to shun them. We are not called to mistreat them. We are not called to yell at them about their sinfulness. Even women going to Planned Parenthood deserve better than to be yelled at over megaphones and called baby killers. There's a lot more going on at Planned Parenthood than just abortions. So I must ask, how are we supposed to show love to others? If God is love, how does the Bible show God interacting with others? Since Jesus is God, how did Jesus interact with people? And since Christians are the hands and feet of Jesus in this world, how are we to interact with people in his name? If we fumble this responsibility, we are guilty of breaking the third commandment. We've taken the Lord's name, Christ, Christian, on ourselves in vain. We're blaspheming when we don't love others like Jesus did. And that's guilty of breaking the third commandment more seriously than if we let a cuss word slip every now and then. So this is a very, very, very important question. And it's especially important Because Jesus says that we will be judged by how we treated other people. Look at Matthew 25 and try to explain that in a check off the right theological boxes sort of way. You can't do it. It's all about actions and how you live towards other people. You can know all the right answers to a theology test, but if you treat people like garbage every day, you're damned. You can preach every Sunday and volunteer in youth group every Wednesday, but if you treat people like garbage at home or at work, you're damned. You can never watch porn, never drink a drop of alcohol, never get a tattoo or smoke tobacco or marijuana, never commit any sort of sexual sin. But if your pride from all of those good choices makes you think that you're better than other sinners and allows you to walk all over them, you're damned. I don't want you to be damned. I want you to walk like Jesus. I want you to look like Jesus. I want you to represent Jesus, and I want the world to see Christians representing Jesus. I want to see a world, the whole world, representing Jesus. So let's look at Jesus together. Let's look at God together. Let's consider what it means to love like Jesus in this broken world. In this with you. Thanks for watching.